She fed the wrong baby milk from her breast at 2 a.m., way too tired to look at the hospital band. And by the time the Korean Mafia leader came in and saw his son sucking on her breast, it was too late already. In my ways, when a lady gives a kid food from her body, she makes a tie that can't be cut, he said, getting so near she could sniff danger and fancy perfume blending. You gave my son your milk, your spirit. That makes you belong to me now. 3 days after, he showed up at her place, then her food store, then every spot she went. When Russian bad guys snatched her on a Chicago road, his shots ripped through them before she could yell because Hyun-woo Park guards, "What's his?" and she turned into his thing the second his son tried her milk. Will Adana get away from the mafia leader who says she's his, or will one feeding slip lock her in his risky world for good? Sign up and see to learn. The baby in Adana's arms kept crying. Her breasts hurt with milk, her head felt dizzy from being tired, and the bright lights of Chicago Memorial Hospital's baby room hummed like mad bees over her. She had her baby just 3 days back, and her body still felt like it was someone else's. The night nurse gave her a yelling baby from the baby room, and Adana didn't think much. Her mum feelings kicked in. She pulled up her top and put the hungry mouth to her breast. The baby grabbed on right away, and nice quiet filled the room. Adana leaned back on the pillows, shutting her eyes. Her own son, David, was napping calm in the little bed by her bed. At least she thought so. Being tired made stuff blurry. She patted the feeding baby's soft black hair and sang a soft song her grandma sang in Nigeria. The tiny one's small fist curled on her skin and her heart got soft. "You're so hungry, huh, sweet boy?" she said soft. The door flew open. A guy filled the door spot, and Adana's breath got stuck in her throat. He was tall, in a black suit that cost more than her rent each month maybe, and his face looked hard like rock. Korean, she thought quick. His dark eyes looked around the room like a hunter, hunting for stuff. And when they hit her, on the baby at her breast, those eyes got big. "What are you doing?" His voice was low, with an accent, and sharp like a knife. Adana looked down at the baby, then at her own little bed, where another baby slept. Her heart stopped. 2 babies. There were 2 babies. Scary stuff hit her like a big wave. Oh my God. She stared at the guy, then at the feeding baby. "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." She tried to take the baby off, but the guy crossed the room in 3 big steps. Up close, he scared her more. A scar went along his jaw. Hard to see, but there for sure. His fancy perfume mixed with something else. Something risky she couldn't say. "Don't." He put up one hand and she stopped. "Don't pull him off fast. You'll make him upset." His eyes went down to where his son, 'cause this had to be his son, was still happy feeding. Something showed on that hard face. Hurt maybe, or wanting. "I'm so sorry," Adana said again, her voice shaky. "I just had my baby and I'm so tired, and the nurse gave him and I thought he was David." "David," the guy said her son's name slow, like tasting it. He looked at the sleeping baby in the little bed, then back at his own kid. "My son is Min-jun." The baby let go of her breast at last, full of milk and happy. Adana covered up fast, her face hot with shame. She'd just fed a stranger's baby from her breast. A stranger who looked like he could buy the whole hospital with pocket cash. Hyun-woo, 'cause that's what the band on the baby's wrist said when she checked at last. Picked up his son from her arms careful. His moves were soft, like he knew how. The baby curled into his dad's chest without waking. "How did this happen?" Adana asked, her voice real soft. The night nurses knew. Incompetent. He said it like facts. Not mad, just cold. "She will be fired." "No, please." Adana sat up more. Even if her body hurt, it was an honest slip. "I should have looked. Don't let her lose her job 'cause of me." Those dark eyes looked at her face for a long time. "You defend someone who made you do this wrong." Everyone slips when they're tired. The side of his mouth moved. Not a full smile, but near. He looked down at Min-jun, who was sleeping calm on his shoulder. When he looked back at Adana, something in his look changed. "In my country there is an old idea," he said, quiet. When a woman feeds a child from her body, she makes a tie with that child, a tie that cannot be broken. Adana's mouth got dry. It was an accident. Some people don't believe in accidents. He got closer to her bed and she leaned back a bit. Some people believe in fate. I don't understand. You gave my son something special. Your milk, your body, your care. In my world, this means something. The way he said my world made her feel cold down her back. What world? What did he mean? I need your info, he went on, taking out a phone with one hand while holding his son with the other. Your full name, your phone number, your address. Why? Adana held the hospital sheets tight. It was just a slip because now you're tied to my son. I need to know you're safe. I need to know where you are. That's crazy. She tried to sound strong, but her voice shook. You can't just ask for my info cause of an accident. He tilted his head, looking at her like she was a puzzle he wanted to fix. What's your name? Adana. Adana. He said it perfect, the Nigerian way coming off his tongue like he'd talked Igbo all his life. Nice name. It means father's daughter. Yes. She blinked. How do you know that? I know lots of stuff. He moved Minjon to his other shoulder. My name is Hyanwoo Park. And if you believe it or not, what happened tonight changed all. The door opened again, and two guys in dark suits came in. They didn't knock. They didn't ask. They just came in and stood on each side of Hyanwoo, like matching watchdogs. Adana's heart beat hard. Who are they? My helpers. Hyanwoo looked at the guys, then back at her. Give me your phone number, Adana. I'll have my people check on you and your son. Make sure you both stay healthy. Your people. She looked between the three guys. Stuff starting to hit her. The fancy suits, the guards, the way he bossed the room like he owned it. What kind of business guy are you? His smile was slow and didn't hit his eyes. The kind who takes care of what's mine. I'm not yours. My son drank from your body. That makes you part of my world now. He took out a business card and put it on her side table. You'll give the nurse your info before you leave the hospital. She'll make sure I get it. And if I don't, he got closer. So close she could see gold bits in his dark eyes. Then I'll find it myself. But I'd like if you give it free. The warning was quiet, almost nice. But it was a warning for sure. Fine. Adana took a pen from the table and wrote her number on paper. Her hand shook here. But this doesn't mean anything. It was just an accident. He took the paper, his fingers touching hers. His touch was warm, like a spark. Keep saying that. Hyanwoo turned to go, then stopped at the door. One more thing. Adana, you fed my son tonight when he was hungry. You showed him nice. I don't forget nice. His eyes locked with hers. But I also don't forget debts. And now, you owe me something special. I don't owe you anything. You gave my son your milk, your spirit, your life stuff. He fixed the sleeping baby in his arms. In my ways, that's a debt that can never be paid back, which means you and I are tied together now. That's nuts. Maybe he smiled then, really smiled, and it changed his whole face. He went from scary to super hot in a beat. But you'll learn it, Adna. You'll learn that I always get what's owed to me. Then he was gone, his guards going after him like shadows. Adana sat in the quick quiet, staring at the business card on her table. The name meant nothing to her. The company meant nothing. But her hands kept shaking. She looked at David, her nice sleeping son, and a cold feel sat in her belly. What had she just done? Who was that guy? And why did his words sound less like a promise and more like a warning? The business card shined under the bright lights. She should toss it. She should forget this happened. But something said forgetting Hyanwoo Park would be hard. Adana saw him again on Tuesday morning. She was going out of her apartment building on the south side of Chicago. David tied to her chest in a baby holder when a black Mercedes came to the curb. The back window went down and there he was. Hyanwoo Park looking like he came from a mag in his grey suit and dark sunglasses. Good morning, Adana. Her belly flipped. What are you doing here? I was near. He pointed to the driver and the car door opened. He got out and she saw he held a big shopping bag with a fancy name she knew from TV. I brought something for David. How do you know where I live? She stepped back, her hand covering David's head without thinking. I told you I take care of what's mine. He held out the bag. It's just clothes and some toys. Minjun has too many, so I thought David might like them. Adana stared at the bag like it might blow up. I can't take gifts from you. Why not? Because I don't know you. Because you showing up at my home is weird. Because all this is wrong. His jaw got tight. Wrong is letting a kid go without when I have lots to give. David isn't going without anything. No. His eyes went over her old jeans and old jacket. You work as a nurse, single mom. Hospital pay in Chicago barely pays rent. He got closer. Let me help. I don't need your help. She tried to walk by him, but he got in her way. Not touching her, not warning, just there, solid and not moving. Everyone needs help sometimes. Adana, not from you. She met his eyes, making herself be brave. Stay away from me and my son. Whatever you think happened at the hospital, it was nothing, just a slip. Something risky flashed on his face. You keep saying that word slip, but I don't believe in slips. Well, I do. Now move. He looked at her for a long time, then stepped aside. But as she went by, he said quiet, "You'll change your mind." She didn't answer. She just walked faster, her heart beating hard against David's tiny body. 2 days later, he was at the food store. Adana was trying to pick between 2 kinds of diapers, adding prices in her head, when she felt someone watching her. She turned and there he was, leaning on the end of the aisle like he had all time, watching her with those strong dark eyes. "You're following me." Her voice came out shaky more than she wanted. "I'm shopping." He pointed to the empty cart by him. "You don't have anything in your cart." "I just started." He got closer and she saw he smelled different today. Less perfume, more soap, and something like wood. "How's David?" "Fine." "Great. Why do you care?" "Because Minjun asks about him." The say seemed to cost him. "He cries less since that night. Like he remembers your smell. You're warm." Odinar's throat got tight. "Babies don't remember stuff like that, don't they?" He picked up the pricier pack of diapers and put it in her cart. "These are better. They don't leak. I didn't ask for your thought." "No, but I'm giving it anyway." He added a pack of wipes, then some baby lotion. "Minjun had bad diaper rash until we changed to this kind." "Stop putting stuff in my cart." "Why?" He kept adding things. Formula even though she was feeding from breast. Baby clothes in the next size. A stuffed elephant that David was too young for. "You need them. That's not the point." She started taking stuff out, but he just put them back. They went back and forth like that, a weird dance in the diaper spot, until Adana wanted to yell. "Why are you doing this?" He stopped. His hand stopped over a pack of bottles. When he looked at her, really looked, she saw something open in his look. "Because no one helped me when Minjun was born. His mom died on the cutting table, and I had to figure all out alone. The crying, the feeding, the fear that I was doing it all wrong." His voice got low. "I don't want that for you." Adana's mad went down a bit. "I'm sorry about your wife. She wasn't my wife. She was someone I cared about once, but thank you." He cleared his throat and the open time passed. "Let me pay for these." "No way, Adana." The way he said her name made her shake. "Don't fight me on this. I fight you on everything." She pushed the cart by him. "And you need to stop showing up every spot I go. It's not normal. I'm not a normal guy." That she was starting to get was the truest thing he'd ever said. The kid doctor's office was the last thing. Adana was sitting in the waiting room with David on her lap when Hyanwoo walked in with Minjun. The baby saw her and reached out right away, making happy sounds. Hyanwoo's face got soft in a way she hadn't seen. "He remembers you," Hyanwoo said, sitting in the chair next to hers without asking. "He always remembers you. This can't be chance." Adana looked around the waiting room. "How did you know I'd be here?" "Same kid, doctor. I asked the nurse to set Minchun's time at the same as David's." "That's nuts." "That's smart." He moved Minjun on his lap and the baby kept reaching for Adana. "He wants you to hold him." "No, please." The words sounded strange in his mouth, like he didn't say it much, just for a bit. He's been cranky all morning. Against her better think, Adana reached for Min. The baby came to her quick, snuggling on her chest right next to David. Her heart squeezed at seeing them together, two tiny boys who had no clue how mixed their tie was. "This has to stop," she said quiet. "Whatever you think is going on here, it needs to stop." "I can't stop." His voice was low. "Just for her. Don't you get yet? You're in danger 'cause of me." "What are you talking about?" He leaned closer, and she caught that wood smell again. "I'm not just a business guy, Adana. I run a group, a family, and my enemies would do anything to hurt me, including hurting the lady who fed my son." The world tilted. "You're in a gang." "Not a gang, something bigger." He watched Minjan settle on her. "And the second you fed Minjan, you became seen to everyone who wants to wreck me. That's not fair." Panic went up her throat. "I didn't know. I didn't pick this." "No, you didn't." His hand moved, almost touching her knee, then pulled back. "But it doesn't matter. You're part of this now, and I protect what's mine. I'm not yours. Keep saying that." His smile was sharp. "But we both know the truth." The nurse called David's name, and Adana stood quick, giving Minjan back. Her hands were shaking as she carried David into the check room. She could feel Hyun-woo's eyes on her the whole time. That night, everything changed. Adana was walking home from the corner store, David asleep in his holder, when a van came up by her. The door slid open and two guys jumped out. They wore masks and moved fast. One grabbed her arm and she yelled, "Shut up." The guy's accent was thick, Russian maybe. "Come with us quiet, and the baby doesn't get hurt." Terror made her body freeze. "David," they were warning. "David." She opened her mouth to yell again when gunshots broke through the air. The guy holding her dropped, blood growing on his chest. The second guy ran, but more shots followed him. He fell. Adana's knees gave. Strong arms caught her, and she looked up into the face of one of Hyun-woo's guards, the one from the hospital. "You're safe now," the guard said in accented English. "Boss is coming." More black cars came, around her like a safe wall. And then Hyun-woo was there, his face pale, his hands soft as he checked her. "Did they hurt you?" His voice shook with mad he barely held. "Did they touch David?" "No. Your men, they saved us." She was crying now, shock making her body shake. "Who were they?" "Russians. They work for a guy who wants me dead." He pulled her on his chest, careful of David between them. "This is what I was trying to tell you. This is why you need me. I don't get any of this. You don't have to get." He tilted her face up, making her meet his eyes. "You just have to trust me. Let me protect you. I'm scared. Good fear will keep you careful." His thumb wiped her tears. "Come home with me tonight. My house is safeguarded. No one can touch you there. I can't just leave my place." "Why not? What's there that matters more than David's safety, than your life?" His hold got tight. "They found you once, Adna. They'll find you again, and next time my men might not be close enough." She looked at the bodies on the ground, at the blood on the walk, and knew he was right. Everything had changed the second she fed Min. There was no going back to her normal life. "Okay," she said soft. "Okay." His smile was winning and owning. "Pack a bag. We leave in 1 hour." As his men cleaned the spot in his cars around her building, Adana got something scary. Hyun-woo Park hadn't just come into her life, he'd taken it all, and she had no clue if she'd ever get away. The big house in Lake Forest looked like from a movie. Adana pressed her face on the car window as they drove through big iron gates. The house spread over nice grass, all white stone and big windows that glowed warm light. Gardens went around it like green bands, and she counted at least 3 water things before she stopped. "This is where you live." Her voice came out small. Hyun-woo sat by her in the back seat, Minjan asleep in his car seat. "This is where we live now." The "we" made her belly flip. Inside, the big house was even more big. Stone floors, lights hanging that shined like gems, art that cost more than her whole life maybe. A lady in a clean outfit showed up quick, talking fast, Korean to He answered in the same talk. his voice softer than Adana ever heard. Mrs. Cho will show you to your rooms, Hyenwoo said, changing to English. The whole east side is yours. Private sleep room, bathroom, baby room for David, all you need. A whole side. Adana held David tighter. That's too much. It's not enough. He got closer and she caught that smell again. Tonight, it mixed with something hot. Maybe his dinner, but it's what I have to give. Mrs. Cho led her through halls that went on forever. The east side was like a separate place. The sleep room had a bed, big 4x4, covered in soft light blankets. The bathroom had a tub she could swim in, and the baby room made her want to cry. Someone set it up perfect with a crib and change table and rocking chair near windows that looked over gardens. Mr. Park said all today. Mrs. Cho said in careful English, he wanted you comfy. It's nice. Adana blinked back tears. Thank you. After Mrs. Cho left, Adana fed David and put him in the new crib. He got calm right away, like he knew he was safe here. She stood watching him sleep, trying to think. All 24 hours back, she'd been in her small place, hard to pay bills, and acting all was fine. Now she was in a big house with a guy who told people to kill for him. A soft knock stopped her thoughts. Come in. Hyenwoo came in carrying a tray. I thought you might be hungry. The smell of food made her belly growl. Korean food she didn't know, but they looked yummy. He put the tray on a small table near the window and pointed for her to sit. You don't have to serve me, Adana said. I want to. He sat across from her, watching as she picked up chopsticks. Do you know how to use those? A little. I had a Korean roomie in nurse school. She got a piece of bulgogi and put it in her mouth. The tastes popped on her tongue, sweet and tasty and perfect. Oh my God. His smile was real. You like it? It's great. She tried another dish. Then another. What's this one? Japchae, glass noodles with veggies. He leaned forward, pointing with his own chopsticks. And this is kimchi. It's hot. Be careful. She tried the kimchi and her eyes watered. Hot is too little. He laughed, really laughed, and the sound changed his whole face. Here, he poured her water from a jug, his fingers touching hers as he gave her the glass. Better, yes, thank you. She drank deep, knowing he watched her. Why are you being so nice to me? Why wouldn't I be? Because you basically took me. I saved you. His voice got hard. There's a diff, is there? She put down her chopsticks. You made me come here. You didn't give me a real pick. Would you rather be dead? He stood quick, going to the window. Those guys tonight, they weren't playing. They would have taken you and David, hurt you to get to me. Is that what you want? Of course not. She stood too mad and fear mixing in her chest. But I don't want this either. Living in your house, needing you, stuck in your world. He turned to face her and the look in his eyes made her breath stop. You think I stuck you? You stuck yourself the second you fed my son. You made a tie, Adana, a link I can't skip. That's just old belief, is it? He crossed the room in 3 steps, stopping so close she had to tilt her head back to see his face. Then why does Minjeon sleep better when he smells your clothes? Why does he cry for you when you're not around? Why do I think about you every second you're not near me? Her heart beat hard. You don't mean that. I mean every word. His hand came up, fingers barely touching her cheek. You've been in my head since that night in the hospital. You're nice. You're strong. The way you defended that bad nurse, even though she made you open to me. His thumb traced her lower lip. You're not like anyone I've met, Hyenwoo. His name felt weird on her tongue. Close. This is crazy. Yes, he smiled, but it was sad. Welcome to my world. The days mixed after that night. Adana got into a way. Mornings with David, then breakfast with Hyenwoo and Minjeon. The babies liked each other, reaching for one another across the space between their high chairs. Watching them together made something warm grow in her chest. Hyenwoo was there a lot. Even running what she now got was a bad empire. He made time for Minjeon. He changed diapers without whine, sang Korean soft songs in a voice that made her shake, and played with his son like they were the only two in the world. You're a good dad, she said one afternoon. watching him stack blocks for Minjen to knock down. He looked up, something open flashing on his face. I tried. His mum deserved better than me. What was she like? He was quiet for a long time. Pretty, sad. We weren't in love, but we cared. She got pregnant by Slip, and I promised to care for her. His jaw got tight. I failed. She died in birth. That wasn't your fault, wasn't it? He stood, going to the window. My life is risky. The stress, the always fear. It was too much for her body. The docs said her blood pressure was too high, that the baby problems came from stress. He turned to look at Adana. My world killed her, or it was just bad luck. Baby problems happen. She got closer to him. You can't blame yourself for all, can't I? His hand made a fist. Every person who gets close to me ends up hurt or dead. My parents, my brother, Minchun's mom, and now you. I'm not dead. Not yet. The words hung heavy between them. Adana shared her own story later that week, during one of their late-night talks in the book room. David and Minjan were both asleep up, and she'd come down for water. She found Hyunwoo reading, and somehow they talked for hours. David's dad left when I told him I was pregnant, she said quiet. We were both in nurse school. He said a baby would wreck his job. He gave me money for an end. She laughed bad, like David was just a prob to fix. He's a fool. Hyunwoo's voice was hard. David is perfect. I know that. But sometimes I wonder if he was right. If I'm being selfish, raising a baby alone, hard to make money. She wiped a tear. Maybe David deserves better than me. Stop. Hyunwoo moved from his chair to sit by her on the couch. You're a great mom. David is lucky to have you. You have to say that. I don't have to say anything. His hand found hers, fingers joining. I say it 'cause it's true. The touch sent spark up her arm. She looked at their joined hands, dark and light, and something moved in her chest. When had he become so big to her? When had his being there become the thing she wanted most each day? Tell me about Nigeria, he said soft. You're home. So she did. She told him about Lagos, about her grandma's spot, about the smell of jollof rice cooking, and the sound of Afro beats from every window. She taught him a few Igbo words, laughing when he said them wrong. He taught her Korean back, his mouth making the words slow so she could copy. They talked about food, about ways, about the weird alone of living between worlds. He got it. She got. He knew what it was like to carry two selves, to never fit in either spot. I miss my grandma, Adana said. She died before David was born. She would have loved him. Tell me about her. And she did, losing in memories while Hyunwoo listened like every word counted. The kiss happened on a rainy Thursday night. They'd put both babies to bed and ended up in the book room again. Rain hit the windows and lightning flashed far. Adana was curled on the couch with a book when Hyunwoo sat by her. What are you reading? She showed him the cover. A love book with a strong guy on front, his brow up. Is it good? It's silly. She felt her cheeks hot. But it's nice to get away sometimes. What are you getting away from? Real stuff. Danger. The say slipped out before she could stop. Am I something to get away from? He got closer and she could feel his body heat. Or something to run to. I don't know anymore. Her voice came out airy. You mix me up. You scare me. His hand cupped her face, thumb rubbing her cheekbone. I've killed guys without weight. I've built an empire on fear. But you, Adana, you make me want to be better. Hyunwoo. She said his name, and then his mouth was on hers. The kiss was soft at first, asking. His lips moved on hers, slow, giving her time to pull away. But she didn't want to pull away. She wanted more. Her hands tangled in his hair, pulling him closer, and he made a sound on her mouth. The kiss got deeper, got hungry. His tongue traced her lower lip, and she opened for him. He tasted like the drink he'd had earlier, warm and smooth. His hands went to her waist, pulling her on his lap, and she went happy. They kissed like they were sinking, and each other was air. His hands went on her back, her sides careful but owning. She moved on him and felt him hard under her, knowing he wanted her scent, heat low in her belly. Adana, he broke the kiss, breathing hard. We should stop. Why? She kissed his jaw, his neck, tasting salt and that would smell. Because if we don't stop now, I won't be able to. His hands gripped her hips, stopping her moves. And you deserve better than being taken on a couch. Real hit back. What was she doing? This guy was risky. He killed people. He lived in a world of hurt and death. Getting with him was the worst idea. She got off his lap quick. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done that. Adana, wait. He reached for her, but she backed away. This is a slip. We can't do this. She wrapped her arms around herself. You're my guard, not my lover. We need to keep lines. Lines. He stood, fixing himself with a face twist. Is that what you want? It's what we need. She went toward the door. I'm tired. Good night. She almost ran from the bookroom, her lips still feeling from his kiss. In her room, she pressed her fingers to her mouth and tried not to cry because the truth was, she didn't want lines. She wanted him, wanted his hands on her skin, his body on hers, his voice saying her name in the dark. But wanting him was risky, and she'd already made enough risky picks for one life. The days after the kiss were hard. Adana stayed away from being alone with Hyun-woo. But the big house wasn't big enough to get away from him all. She felt his eyes on her during breakfast, watched him watch her while she played with the babies, caught him staring when he thought she wasn't looking. The air between them sparked with unsaid words and unfilled want. He didn't push. That was worse somehow. If he asked or pushed, she could fight back. But instead, he was soft. He left her fave flowers in her room. He made sure Mrs. Cho cooked Nigerian food with Korean dishes. He played with David like the boy was his own son, making her heart hurt with wanting for something she couldn't let herself have. You're sad, her friend Destiny said during a video call. Destiny was one of the few who knew where Adna was staying, though not all the risky stuff. I'm fine, girl. You're living in a big house with a fine guy who clearly wants you, and you look like someone killed your puppy. Destiny leaned closer to the camera. What's really going on? It's mixed. Life is mixed. That doesn't mean you can't be happy. Destiny's look got soft. When's the last time someone took care of you? Really took care of you? Adana's throat got tight. That's not what this is, isn't it? From what you've told me, this guy feeds you, guards you, gives for David, and looks at you like you put the moon up. Destiny shook her head. What are you so afraid of? Everything they say came out soft. I'm afraid of getting hurt, of David getting hurt, of falling for someone whose life is so risky that tomorrow isn't sure. Honey, tomorrow isn't sure for any of us. Destiny's voice was nice but strong. You could walk out of that big house and get hit by a bus. At least with him, you'd have spent your last days being loved. After the call ended, Adana sat in her room thinking about Destiny's words. Being loved, was that what this was? Did Hyun-woo love her, or did he just want her because she'd fed his son? Was there even a diff anymore? The answer came 3 days later, covered in blood. Adana was in the garden with both babies, liking the afternoon sun. David was on a blanket, and she held Minjeon on her lap, singing soft. The guards were around the spot, but she'd got used to them. She felt safe here. That was her first slip. The gunshots started without warn. Glass broke from the big house windows. Guards yelled in Korean, and then Hyun-woo was there, running to her faster than she'd seen anyone move. Get down. He threw himself over her and the babies just as bullets tore through the air where her head had been. More gunshots, yelling, the smell of smoke and gun stuff. Hyun-woo's body was heavy on hers, shielding her all. She felt him jerk once, twice, and knew he'd been hit. Hyun-woo, she tried to push him off to see where he was hurt, but he held her down. Stay still. His voice was hard. They're still shooting. The fight lasted maybe 3 minutes, but felt like hours. When quiet came at last, Hyun-woo's guards around them. Someone helped him stand, and that's when Adana saw the blood. So much blood soaking through his white shirt, dripping down his arm. Oh God, she got up quick, still holding Ming. David was crying on the blanket, and she grabbed him too, trying to calm both babies, while staring at Hyun-woo's hurts. Your shot. You need a hospital. No hospitals. He swayed a bit and 2 guards caught him. Too many questions. We have a doc here. Hyunwoo, you're bleeding all over. I'm fine. He wasn't fine. His face was pale. His breathing short. Are you hurt? The babies. We're okay. You saved us. Tears went down her face. You took bullets for us. His smile was weak always. Then his eyes rolled back and he fell. The next few hours were a bad dream. The big house's private doc worked on Hyunwoo in his sleep room while Adna walked outside with both crying babies. Mrs. Cho took them at last, promising to care so Adna could think on Hyunwoo. When the doc came out at last, his look was serious. 2 bullets, 1 through the shoulder, 1 scraped his ribs. He'll live, but he needs rest. Can I see him? The doc nodded. He's been asking for you. Hyunwoo's sleep room was huge, done in dark colors that matched him. He lay in the big bed, no shirt, except for the wraps around his body and shoulder. His eyes were shut, but they opened when she came near. Adena, her name came out rough. The babies, they're fine. Mrs. Cho has them. She sat careful on the bed edge. How do you feel? Like I got shot. He tried to smile, but it came out twisted. Worth it though. Don't say that. Fresh tears burned her eyes. You could have died, but I didn't. His good hand reached for hers. And you're safe. That's all that matters. Why? The question came out. Why do you care so much? Is it really just 'cause I fed Min? Because if that's all this is, some weird sense of job, then tell me now. Job? He laughed, then hurt at the pain. You think what I feel for you is Job. I don't know what you feel. Then, let me make it clear. He pulled her hand, pulling her closer. I want you, Adana. Not 'cause you fed my son, though that's how we met. I want you 'cause you're strong and nice and pretty, because you make me laugh. Because when I'm with you, I forget about all the blood on my hands and remember what it feels like to be human. His eyes locked with hers. I want you in my home, in my life, in my bed. I want to wake up next to you every morning and fall asleep holding you every night. I want to be David's dad and give Minjeon a mom. I want everything and I want it with you. Her heart beat hard. Your world is so risky. Yes, you could die any day. Yes. And you think I should just take that? Just love you knowing I could lose you? Yes. He pulled her closer until she was lying next to him on the bed, careful of his hurts. Because the other is wasting whatever time we have, and I've wasted enough of my life. Adna, I don't want to waste another second. I'm scared. The say came out broken. I'm so scared of loving you. I'm scared too. His hand cupped her face. But I'm more scared of not having you. She kissed him then, tasting salt from her tears and the pain stuff on his breath. He kissed her back, careful, like she was special, like she was all. Make love to me, she said, soft on his lips. I'm hurt. I don't care. She kissed his jaw, his neck, staying away from his wraps. I need to feel you alive. Need to know this is real. Adana, his voice was hard. If we do this, there's no going back. You'll be mine. Maybe I already am. She sat on him careful, watching for pain signs. Maybe I've been yours since that night in the hospital. His hands gripped her hips. You'll have to do most of the work. I can barely move. I can do that. She pulled her dress over her head, showing simple cotton undie, nothing fancy. But the way he looked at her made her feel like the most wanted lady alive. Pretty. His hands traced her shapes. Holy, so pretty. She unhooked her bra, letting it fall. His eyes got dark with want, and she felt strong. She unbuttoned his pants careful, helping him get out of them even with hurts. When she freed him at last, thick and hard and ready, her mouth got dry. I don't know if I can. She stared at his size. It's been a long time, and you're so big, we'll go slow. He pulled her down for another kiss. I'll never hurt you, Adena. Never. She believed him. She put herself over him, going down slow. The stretch burned, but it was good burn. He filled her all, and when she was full on, they both made sounds. Don't move yet. He gripped her hips tight. Give yourself time to get used. She stayed still, feeling him move inside her. This was close beyond anything she'd had. This wasn't just bodies joining. This was souls linking. Okay, she moved a bit, testing. Pleasure went through her. Oh, that's it. His voice was rough. Take what you need from me. She moved slow at first, finding a beat that felt good. His hands guided her hips, showing her what he liked. When she leaned forward, changing the spot, they both made sounds. Touch yourself, he told. I want to feel you come around me. She did, her fingers finding that touchy spot. The mix of him inside her and her own touch pushed her higher. She rode him faster, chasing the good building in her middle. That's my girl. He watched her with half eyes. So perfect, so mine. The words pushed her over. She came hard, her body tight around him, good exploding through every bit. He followed her, saying her name as he filled her. She fell careful on his good side, both breathing hard. His arm came around her, holding her close. I love you. The words slipped out before she could stop. God help me. I love you. He turned his head to look at her, and his smile was pure, happy. Say it again. I love you, Hyunwoo Park. I love you, too. He kissed her head. My Adana, my heart, my everything. They stayed like that for a long time, bodies cooling, hearts beating. Same. What happens now? She asked at last. Now you stay by my side. His hold got tight. Now I make you mine for real. Now we build a life together. It won't be easy. Nothing worth having ever is. He kissed her again, deeper this time. But I promise you this, Adena. I will love you until my last breath. I will protect you and our sons with everything I have. And I will spend every day proving that choosing me was the right pick. Our sons. She tested the words. You really see David as yours? He's been mine since you gave birth to him. He smiled. Just like you've been mine since you fed me. We're a family now. Nothing will change that. She kissed him again, putting all her love and fear and hope into it. He was right. They were a family, weird and not normal, and made in blood and milk and want. But a family still, and she wouldn't trade it for anything. The attack changed all. Hyunwoo got better in a week, but his way about safe became almost too much. Guards followed Adana every spot, even inside the big house. She couldn't go to the bath without knowing armed guys stood outside the door. At night, Hyunwoo pulled her into his bed and held her like she might go away. This is too much, she said one morning, after he said guards take her to breakfast. I can walk down the hall by myself. No, his voice was flat. The last time I let my guard down, you almost died. But I didn't die. Your guards saved us. Barely. He pulled her close, his face in her neck. Do you know what I saw in those seconds before the bullets hit? I saw my future ending. I saw Minjan growing up without you. I saw David asking why his mum was gone. I saw myself alone again. He pulled back to look at her. I can't live that, Tadna. So yes, you get guards every spot. You get me being over guard and worried 'cause losing you isn't a choice. She got soft even with her mad. I'm not going anywhere. Promise me. I promise. He kissed her then, deep and owning, his hands in her hair. She melted on him, always surprised at how quick he could make her forget why she was mad. Mrs. Cho cleared her throat from the door. Mr. Park, your meeting is in 10 minutes. Hyunwoo made a sound on Adena's lips. Tell them to wait. It's Tishi. Mrs. Cho's voice was serious. He's called for a sit. Every muscle in Hyunwoo's body got tight. He pulled away from Adana slow, his look going cold and risky. Where? Neutral spot. The storehouse area. It's a trap, probably. Mrs. Cho didn't look worried, but saying no will look weak. Adana watched the talk, her belly knotting. Who's Hyunwoo's jaw got tight. The guy who told to hit you. Ice went in her veins. And you're going to meet him. I have to. He cupped her face. This is how our world works. He calls for a meeting. I show up. We talk or we don't, but I have to do the moves. What if he kills you? He won't. His smile was sharp. I'm bringing 50 men. He'd be dumb to try anything. Dumb people do dumb stuff all the time. She held his shirt. Don't go. I have to. Be kissed her head. But I'll come back. I always come back to you. She wanted to believe him, but the fear in her chest wouldn't go. The meeting was for that evening. Adana spent the day worried, jumping at every sound. She played with the babies, but couldn't think. Mrs. Cho brought her tea that she didn't drink. The guards gave her sad looks that made all worse. When Hyun-woo came out, dressed for the meeting, she barely knew him. Gone was the soft dad and hot lover. In his place stood a bad boss. His suit was black, perfect fit, with a gun seen in a shoulder hold. His face was cold, no feel. He looked like death. "You look scary," she said. "Good." He checked his gun with know-how. "That's the point." Hyun-woo. She came near him careful. "Come back to me." His look got soft a bit. "Always." He pulled her into a hard kiss. "I love you. I love you, too." She held him tight. "Be careful. Careful is my middle name. Liar." He smiled. And then he was gone. The hours went slow. Adana tried to read but couldn't think. She fed the babies and put them to bed early. She walked her room, then the whole east side. Mrs. Cho found her in the book room around midnight. "He's back," the older lady said, "but you should get ready." Adana's heart stopped. "Is he hurt?" "No, but stuff happened at the meeting. He'll want to see you." She found Hyun-woo in his office, standing by the window with a glass of drink. His knuckles were bloody, and there were spots of blood on his white shirt. Not his blood. She got with horror. "What happened?" She stepped in and shut the door. "Tishy is dead." He didn't turn. "So are 3 of his top guys." "You killed them?" "Yes." He looked at her at last, and his eyes were empty. "He warned you, said in detail what he wanted to do to you before killing you. Said Minjun and David would be raised as his sons after he got rid of me." His hand tight on the glass. "I beat him to death with my bare hands." The hurt should have scared her. Maybe it did a little, but mostly she felt glad. "Good." He blinked. "Good. He wanted to hurt our kids. Hurt me." She crossed the room to stand in front of him. "I'm glad he's dead. You don't get what I did." He put down the glass and showed her his hands. Blood on his fingers, dry under nails. "I didn't just kill him quick. I made him hurt. Made him beg. Made his men watch, so they'd know what happens when someone warns what's mine. I get perfect." She took his hands in hers. "You saved us. That's what counts. You should be scared of me." "I am scared of you." She pressed his palm on her cheek. "But I love you more than I fear you, and I trust you'd never hurt me or the boys." Something broke in his look. He pulled her into his arms, holding her so tight she could barely breathe. "I don't deserve you. Too bad. You're stuck with me." He laughed a broken sound, and then he was kissing her hard. She kissed him back just as strong, needing to feel him alive and whole. They made love right there in his office on the desk, hard and fast, and taking after. She cleaned the blood from his hands while he watched her with something like prey in his eyes. "I need to say something," he said later as they lay mixed on the office couch to my group. "Let everyone know for real that you and the boys are under my guard." "What does that mean exactly?" "It means they'll know that touching you means death, that you're my lady and David is my son just as much as Minjan." He rubbed her hair. "It means making you seen to everyone, which is risky but needed. They need to get what you mean to me." "Will it be risky?" "Everything in my world is risky." He tilted her face up. "But I'll keep you safe. I swear it." The meeting happened 3 days later in the big house's fancy eat room. Adana wore a dress Hyun-woo bought her, deep purple silk that made her skin shine. He'd said she needed to look like a queen, not a hurt one. She needed to show strong. The eat room filled with guys in fancy suits. They stared at her with different amounts of wonder and doubt. An African lady with a Korean bad boss wasn't common. She held her head high and wouldn't show fear. Hyun-woo stood at the table head. "Bossing the rooms look easy. Some of you heard talk about the lady living in my home. Tonight, I make it real." He held out his hand and Adana took it, letting him pull her to stand by him. "This is Adana. She is mine. Her son David is mine. Anyone who warns them answers to me myself." Whispers went through the room. One older guy spoke. "With respect, boss." Bringing an outside into the family makes probs. She's not an outside. Hyunwoo's voice was hard. She fed my son. She gave him life when his mom couldn't. That makes her family by the oldest ways. Another guy nodded, thinking, the milk tie. I've heard of this. Then you get Hyunwoo's arm wrapped around Adana's waist. She is under my guard. Anyone who hurts her, warns her, or even looks at her wrong will face the end. Am I got? A group of yes, boss, filled the room. Goody pulled Adana closer. Now, let's eat. The dinner was weird at first, but as drink went, the guys relaxed. They asked Adana about Nigeria, about nursing, about David. She answered careful, knowing every word was judged. By the end of the night, several guys had promised their own guard to her. She'd passed a test she didn't know she had. Later, in Hyunwoo's bed, she asked, "Did I do okay?" "You were perfect." He kissed her shoulder. "They respect you now. Fear you a little too, which is good." "Why would they fear me?" "Because they see how much I love you." His hand spread on her belly. "And they know I'd burn the world if anyone hurt you." The weeks after were a weird mix of home happy and under risk. During the day, they were a normal family. They played with the babies, cooked meals together, watched movies, curled on the couch. At night, they made love with a fire that never went out. He was like a drug, his touch setting her on fire every time. But risk was always there, hiding. Weird cars sometimes showed outside the gates. Calls came at odd times. Hyunwoo would go for meetings and come back tight. She learned not to ask too many questions about his work. One evening, after putting the babies to bed, Hyunwoo took her hand. "Come with me." He led her to the garden where they'd almost died weeks before. The spot had been redone, all turned into something nice. Lights hung from trees, giving warm light. Flowers bloomed in careful spots. In the middle stood a small table set for two. "What's this?" Adana asked. "Something I should have done weeks back." He led her to sit, then knelt by her chair. From his pocket, he pulled a small box. In Korea, when a guy wants to marry a lady, he gives her a ask. Not just words, but a promise. Her heart beat hard. "Hyunwoo, let me finish." He opened the box, showing a nice ring with a deep red stone around by gems. "This red stone was my grandma's. She gave it to me before she died and told me to give it to the lady who made me want to be better." His eyes met hers. "You make me want to be better, Adana. You make me believe I can be more than just a bad guy. You see the guy inside the bad." Tears went down her face. "You're not bad, I am. But with you, I'm also human." He took her hand. "Marry me, not cause of job or old ways, or cause you fed my son. Marry me 'cause you love me, because I love you more than I thought could, because I want to spend every day of my life making you happy. Yes." The word came out broken. "Yes, I'll marry you." He put the ring on her finger, and it fit perfect. Then he pulled her into his arms and kissed her like she was air, and he was sinking. They made love right there in the garden under the stars, making the spot where they had almost lost all holy. Later, wrapped in his arms on the blanket he'd put out, Adana traced the scars on his chest. "I never thought this would be my life." "Regrets?" "None." She kissed over his heart. "You're mine now, for real. I've been yours since the second I saw you feeding Minkjun." His hand cupped her face. "You own me, Adana, body and soul." "Good." She bit his lips soft. "'Cause I'm never letting you go. Promise, promise." They stayed in the garden until morning, talking and loving and planning their future. A future that was not sure and risky, but theirs for sure. The wedding planning happened faster than Adana thought. Hyunwoo wanted to marry her right away, but she said do it right. They met in middle on 6 weeks, just enough time to mix their two ways into something nice and meaning. Mrs. Cho became a surprise help, helping Adana get Korean wedding ways while respecting her Nigerian stuff. In Korea, the bride wears a hanbok, Mrs. Cho said one afternoon while they looked at cloth bits. "But you should honor your ways too. I want to wear both." Adana picked a hanbok for the do, then change into Nigerian old dress for the party. Mrs. Cho smiled. "Mr. Park will love that. He did. When Adana showed him the drawers, his eyes got soft. "You're giving me all," he said quiet. "Your love, your trust, your ways. I don't deserve it." "Stop saying that." She kissed him. "You deserve to be happy. We both do." The spot was a private land in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin, picked for its nice and safe. Hyanwoo's men checked the land 3 times before the wedding day. Guards would be every spot, not seen, but there. Even on their wedding day, risk was real. They couldn't get away. The morning of the due, Adana woke up alone. Hyanwoo had spent the night in a diff room, honoring the way of not seeing the bride before. She missed his warmth, his arms around her, but the wait made all sweeter. Destiny came early to help her get ready. "Girl, you're getting married to a whole bad boss. This is like from a movie. Don't tell me." Adana's hand shook as Destiny did her face. "What if I'm making a slip? Are you happy with him?" "Yes." "Does he treat you right? Better than anyone? Does he love David like his own?" "All." Destiny squeezed her shoulder. "Then you're not making a slip. You're picking love. Even when it's scary. That's brave, not dumb." The hanbok was great. Deep red silk with gold thread. Old but changed to fit her shapes perfect. Mrs. Cho helped her dress, tears down the older lady's face. "You look like a queen." Mrs. Cho said soft, "Mr. Park is a lucky guy. I'm the lucky one." Adana touched the red ring on her finger. "He saved me in more ways than one." The dew was in the land's garden at sundown. Lights hung from trees, making all in warm gold light. White flowers bloomed every spot, and an old Korean wedding arch stood at the aisle end. Chairs were set in neat rows filled with Hyanwoo's group guys and the few friends Adana asked. David and Minjeon sat in front with Mrs. Cho, both in tiny same suits. Minjeon waved at her, and David made sounds happy. Her heart filled with love for them both. Then the music started and she saw him. Hyanwoo stood under the arch in an old Korean hanbok, black with silver thread. He looked like a king, strong and risky and all hers. When their eyes met, his whole face changed. The cold bad boss went, replaced by a guy so in love, he looked ready to cry. She walked down the aisle alone, head high. She didn't need anyone to give her away. She was picking him of her own want. When she reached him, he took her hands. His were shaking. "You're shaking," she said, soft. "I'm scared." His smile was open. "Scared I'll wake up and this will all be a dream. It's real." She squeezed his hands. "I'm real. This is real." The leader was Korean, talking in Korean and English. He talked about the tie between souls, about 2 people becoming one family, about the brave it takes to love someone. Adana barely heard the words. She was lost in Hyanwoo's eyes, in the way he looked at her like she was his whole world. When time for promises, Hyanwoo spoke first. "Adana, I was dead before I met you, walking, breathing, but dead inside. You brought me back to life. You showed me what it means to be loved, to be seen, to be taken, even with all my bad and dark." His voice broke. "I promise to love you every day, to guard you and our sons, with my life, to be worth the gift you've given me. You are my heart, my soul, my all, and I will spend forever showing that to you." Tears down her face as she spoke her own promises. "Hyanwoo, loving you scares me. Your world is risky. Your life is not sure. And every day I'm scared of losing you, but I'm more scared of not loving you. You've shown me strong I didn't know I had. You've given David a dad and me a mate. You've made me feel wanted and strong." She smiled through her tears. "I promise to stand by your side through all, to be your safe spot when the world gets dark, to love you and Minjeon and David with all I have. You are mine, and I am yours forever." "Forever," he said again. And then he was kissing her. The kiss was deep and taking and filled with promise. His hands cupped her face like she was special, and she melted into him. Around them, people cheered and clapped, but all she could feel was him, his love, his want, his full give. When they broke at last, both out of breath, he said soft on her lips, "My wife, my husband." The word felt perfect. The party was a nice mess of Korean and Nigerian ways. Adana changed into her Nigerian dress, bright purple and gold wrap with matching head thing. Hyun-woo's eyes almost fell out when he saw her. "You're killing me." He made a sound. "How am I supposed to wait until tonight?" "You'll handle." She kissed his jaw. "Besides, we have guests to fun." They ate Korean and Nigerian food. They danced to Afro beats and K-pop. They fed each other cake and laughed when David tried to take some. Minjun fell asleep on Hyun-woo's shoulder halfway, and the pic of her new husband holding his son while dancing with her maid, Odana's heart full. As night came, they snuck to their private room. Hyun-woo had set for Mrs. Cho to watch both babies for the night, giving them full alone. The second the door shut, he was on her. His hands went on her body, pulling at the wrap, wanting to get her bare. She laughed on his mouth, helping him unwrap the hard cloth. "Too many clothes," he said low. "Why do you have so many layers?" "Wait." She bit his lip. "Good things come to those who wait. I've waited enough." He freed her from the wrap at last, leaving her in just undies. His eyes got dark. "Perfect, so perfect." She helped him out of his hanbok, showing the strong body under. Scars marked his chest and arms, reminds of his risky life, but she loved every bit of him. She traced each scar with her fingers, then her lips, until he was saying her name. "Adana." He lifted her and carried her to the bed. "I need you, then take me." She opened for him, welcoming him home. Their lovemaking was slow and strong. He prayed every bit of her body, making her feel like the most wanted lady alive. When he entered her at last, they both gasped at the perfect. This was more than body. This was souls linking. "I love you," he said, soft as he moved inside her. "My wife, my queen, my all. I love you, too." She wrapped her legs around him, pulling him deeper. "My husband, my God, my heart." They made love for hours, learning each other's bodies again. He was soft and rough, tender and asking, giving her all she needed before she knew. When she came apart in his arms at last, he followed, both crying out their love. After, wrapped in his arms, she felt whole. "I never thought my life would turn out like this." Regrets. He kissed her shoulder. "Never." She turned to face him. "This is right where I'm supposed to be. With me. With you." They stayed awake talking until morning, planning their future, where they'd go, how they'd raise the boys, what kind of life they wanted to build. It wouldn't be easy or safe, but it would be theirs. 3 months later, Adana woke up feeling sick. At first, she thought it was just a belly bug, but when the sick kept for a week, she started to think. The baby test said yes. She was having Hyun-woo's baby. She told him that night after putting the boys to bed. He was in his office working when she walked in, holding the test. "What's that?" He looked up from his papers. "Our future." She gave him the test. "I'm having a baby." The quiet went for a long time. Then he was on his feet, pulling her into his arms, laughing and crying at the same time. "We're having a baby." He kissed her deep. "Our baby, are you happy?" "Happy." He pulled back to look at her and his eyes were shining. "Adana, I'm more than happy. I'm whole." The having baby went smooth. Hyun-woo became even more God if that could. He said she rest always, eat perfect, and skip any stress. It was too much and sweet at the same time. Now 6 months with baby, Adana stood in the big house's living room, watching David and Minjun play together. They were walking a bit now, getting into old best friends and brothers in every way that counted. Her hand rested on her big belly, feeling their girl kick. Yes, a girl. They'd found out last week, and Hyun-woo had cried. Strong arms wrapped around her from behind, and Hyun-woo's hands covered hers on her belly. "What are you thinking about? How diff my life is now." She leaned back on him. "A year back, I was alone and scared. Now I have all. We have all." He kissed her neck. 2 nice sons, a girl coming, and a love I never thought I'd find. "Do you ever think about that night in the hospital?" She turned her head to look at him. "When I fed Minjun by slip, every day." His smile was soft. "That wasn't a slip, Adana. That was fate. The world bringing us together in the weirdest way." "You really believe that?" "I know it." He turned her in his arms, his hands holding her face. You were always meant to be mine, just like I was always meant to be yours. The wrong baby led us to the right forever. She kissed him, putting all her love into it. Around them, the boys played. Inside her, their girl kicked. This was her life now, messy and risky and perfect. I love you, she said soft on his lips. I love you more. He kissed her again. My wife, my queen, the mum of my kids. You're all I never knew I needed, and you're my surprise forever. She smiled. Who knew that one slip would change all? It wasn't a slip. He kissed her belly. It was destiny. As the sun set over their home, Adana got he was right. Sometimes the wrong time leads to the right person. Sometimes a slip tie becomes a can't break bond. Sometimes love finds you in the most surprise ways. And sometimes, just sometimes, feeding the wrong baby from breast leads you straight to your soulmate. Thank you so much for watching this story. If you liked Adana and Hyunwoo's trip from a slip meeting to forever love, please hit that sign up button and turn on bells so you never miss another Feel Love story. We want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell us where are you watching from. What was your fave bit in the story? Team Adana or Team Hyunwoo? Should we make more mixed race love stories like this? Don't forget to like this video and share it with someone who loves hot love stories with surprise turns. Your help means all to us and helps us make more stuff you love. What story should we tell next? Comment your ideas below.